Hello everyone, this is LeetCoder, and I'm going to talk about how to solve a question in LeetCode. And I'm recording this video in English today because I feel like sometimes, I should mix it up. So that's why I'm going to use English today. And the question is about palindrome, and palindrome is a number, or I should say a sequence of numbers that somehow is the same when you flip it backward and forward from the middle. So let's say it's the best to show you an example. So let's say the number is 1 to 1. If you flip it from the middle, it's both 1 and 1. 2 doesn't matter here. That's why it's a palindrome. If it is a negative number, we still consider this negative number as a character when we do the palindrome operation. So the negative number is not allowed in palindrome. So it's not palindrome. If it is 10, obviously it's not palindrome. If it is 1, 2, 2, 1, it's palindrome because 1, 2 backward is 2, 1. And there's going to be a translation here. So if you're curious about what this question really is, you can take a look at it and try to understand it. So the way how I'm going to solve this is pretty simple. I think there could be two ways of doing it, but the first one is going to be very basic one. So there is a base case here, and that's if the number is negative number, then we always return false. But if it is 0, then it could be true because 0 is still a number, and you cannot flip the single number like from 0 to 9 because it only has one digit in it, and those are all true. I'm going to create an array here of int, and then I'm going to declare a variable called remainder, which is going to have the same value as x, and I'm going to have a while loop that will run until the remainder is 0, becomes 0. So while loop will loop through until remainder becomes 0, and I'm going to do some operation on remainder so that it becomes 0 eventually. And I'm going to append to the array the value that I can get actually from doing this modulo operation. And modulo operation is something that gets the remainder of a number. And then after this, I'm going to divide remainder by 10 so that remainder becomes smaller, and then it will eventually get rid of the remainder that we appended to the array. So for instance, if the number was 10,001, if we do divide it by 10, well, first of all, the remainder here was 1 because if you divide it by 10, it gets rid of all big numbers and returns only a small number here. But if we divide it by 10 over here, what happens is it will get rid of this, and then this will become 1000. So that's the basic logic of how this works here. And then I'm going to have a for loop here, which will loop through until the half of count of the array, and then compare front and the backward. So I should say forward and backward, so front and the end. And I'm going to do that by getting the index of first one, and then backward I just do it minus it from the count of the array. Also minus 1 here because index is 1 smaller. Then if this is false, those two should be the same, because it's the back. What has to happen in palindrome is the forward and backward are the same. If this is not true, then it returns false. Otherwise, at the end, if all the operation successfully runs, then it is true. If I run this, the algorithm time is going to be O of n plus half of the array. So it could be like O of n plus half of n. And that's pretty good regarding the stuff, but it also uses array, and there's a faster solution to this, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Actually, it's nearly 80%, and it's pretty good actually, but there's a better way, so I'm going to show you the better way of it. A better way of solving this question. And obviously we still need a base case. This time we're not going to check if it is smaller than or equal to 0, but instead it should be smaller than 0. Here I'm going to have a num. Well, I could call it result actually. Result is 0 right now, and gonna have the remainder just like before, and then we'll have the same as the while loop. We'll have a same while loop, except the operation inside is going to be quite different. So result is going to contain the value that it had before times 10, so that if it had 1, if the remainder was 1 before, it's now going to multiply by 10 so that it becomes 10th number. Next time it runs, it's going to be 100th number, so that it keeps updating the number backward. So for instance, if the x was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this will result in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pretty simple. It starts from 0, so first one is going to be 0 plus remainder, which will get 1 in theory, regarding the example 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because it will start from the backward. And do the same thing as on the remainder, divide it by 10, and we simply at the end return if x equals to num, not the num result. Oh yeah, I get mixed up a lot because I use num instead. And if x equals to result, then everything is good. But if it is not, then it's not palindrome. See, if it is equal backward and forward, then that should be the same. So let's see how it does. The algorithm should be pretty fast. Yeah, it's 100% faster than all other users, and it uses only like 42. It's great. It's better than 42% of other people regarding the space, and so this is pretty good. It doesn't use the array. It just stores value in an integer. So this is awesome. All right. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe and hit like, and see you in the next video.